You're good.
And on question number 3, what does it say? Yours should look a lot like mine, right?
Turn to pages 402 and 403. What facts did you learn about?
Hold on. We got some people reading fast, some people reading slow. Let's read it all together. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Turn to pages 402 and 403. What facts did you learn about Waterhouse's method of constructing the dinosaur figure? Why do you think he expresses the opinion it is no less than building a house upon 4 columns? Okay, well first, guys, we need to label our chart, but y'all don't even have a chart yet, do you? So what I want you to do is take your book and move it to the side, and I want you to draw this chart like it is on my paper. I want you to draw it on top of your desk. Now you're using your whole desk, the whole thing. So if you have something else on your desk, like a pencil or a pen, you didn't follow directions. You're using that whole desk to draw this chart. Just like it is on my paper, you're drawing it on your desk. So 3 lines across, 1 line down. And you're giving yourself plenty of space to write. Plenty of space to write. And notice how this line, it's not in the middle, it's to the side, because we're gonna write in these 2 boxes over here, remember? We're gonna write in these boxes right here. So we need plenty of space to write, right? Okay, so everybody's got their chart drawn, right? Well, let's go through and quickly label our chart. What goes in this very top box? Your introduction or your topic sentence. So I want you to write that. Introduction, or if you want to put topic sentence, that'll work too. How many sentences go in each box?
3. 2, I mean.
She does 2 box.
No, 3.
You put 2 sentences in this 1 box.
No, we just put 1 to tell us.
Oh, you put 1 sentence in each box. So at the end of this, how many sentences should you have total?
We have 2 in key start idea, and then we have 1 in introduce.
Okay, so in all, if you counted all of these,
5.
we'll talk about that in a minute. Never mind. Okay. Right here, what goes in this side box?
Key
star idea. Label it.
K inside.
Key. If you want to draw a star idea, or if you want to do like Brooke said, KSI, that works too. What goes in this one?
Oh, wait, that one?
What we talk about?
Elaborate.
Yeah.
That's where you tell more about it. What goes down here in this one?
Key star idea.
Key star idea. Remember, you're leaving yourself plenty of room to write. What goes in the box next to it? Nope.
And elaborate.
Elaborate. And then what goes below elaborate?
Conclusion.
Conclusion. Very good. So now, based off of all of those, how many sentences are we going to have?
6.
6. We're going to have 6 sentences. If you want to label them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to put 2 elaborates, that's fine. If you'd rather put 1, as long as you have 6 sentences, you're good. Everybody got it? Now, I want you, while everybody else is finishing, I want you to start thinking. In our question, it says, what facts? Well, what is a fact? I want you to think about that in your head. Don't shout it out. You're thinking in your head about what is a fact. While everybody's finishing labeling their chart, what is a fact? A fact goes, we usually hear about it with something else. So what is a fact? Okay, raise your hand. What is a fact? Madeline? Something you can prove. Usually when we hear about a fact, we also hear about an opinion. Okay, now again, in this question, it does ask for an opinion, but it's not asking us about that opinion. It wants us to know about what facts did you learn about in Waterhouse's methods of constructing the dinosaur figure. But where does it tell us to look? It tells us specifically, it says, hey, go here. Where do we go?
Page 402 and 403.
402 and 403. So where do I want to see you going?
402 and 403.
So pages 402 and 403. And on pages 402 and 403, I want you to start thinking and looking for your key star ideas. And then we're going to come back together. Don't shout them out. You're just looking over pages 402 and 403. Looking pages 402 and 403 over. You're also thinking about how we want to start this paragraph. How might we want to start this paragraph? Remember, when we start it, we're introducing what we're talking about. Does anybody have a topic sentence or an introduction that they want to share with everybody? Parker?
These are some ways that we could tell a fact about the dinosaurs of Waterhouse.
Okay, instead of saying these are some ways, what are we going to be telling about?
Details.
Not details.
Facts.
Facts. So we could say these are
Some facts.
some facts about what? Waterhouses. What does it say? Waterhouses what?
Dinosaurs.
Not, Waterhouses, look at your question up at the top. Waterhouses method of constructing the dinosaur figure. Okay, so let's say in that first box, these are some facts. Facts is not capitalized. These are some facts about what? Not, look at our question. Waterhouse is what?
His method of how he built or constructed the dinosaur.
Yep, Waterhouse's method, we'll say to building dinosaurs. Shorten it up. And remember, what goes at the end of every sentence?
Here.
Or a punctuation mark. What goes at the beginning of every sentence? A capital letter. So if you don't have those two things, you need to be fixing it. I'm liking all this stuff I'm seeing written on your desk. This is a chance for you to write on your desk. Now notice, you should not be writing really sloppy. I want you to be able to read this. Yes, ma'am.
My pen is drying out.
That stinks. Get out a piece of paper and a pencil, because we don't have time to stop unless you've got another one. Huh? Can I zoom in for you?
Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, so our topic sentence or our introduction is introducing or telling about what we're about to tell about in this paragraph, right?
Yes.
So based off of our introduction or our topic sentence, we're about to tell about what? It's like crickets in here. I'm beginning to wonder if y'all are even
Waterhouse
listening.
method of building dinosaurs.
Not just Waterhouse's methods of building dinosaurs, but we are going to list specific what?
Facts.
Facts. We're going to find some facts. Okay, now again, a fact is something what, Madeline? That you can what? Prove. You can either prove it true or false. So you were looking on pages 402 and 403. Should be looking back there. 402 and 403. And you are trying to find, I want you to find one fact that tells us about Waterhouse's method to building a dinosaur. Okay? I want everybody to be looking on pages 402 and 403. You're trying to find a fact about Waterhouse's method of building a dinosaur. Dylan, what's 1? What page are you on to start with?
402.
402. So everybody's looking at page 402.
Yes, ma'am.
With help of his assistants, he had formed the life-size clay figures and created the mold from them.
Okay, so he first creates a life-size figure and then he creates a mold from it, right? Okay, Brooke, what's another one?
Waterhouse showed his guests the small models he made, correct in every detail from scales on the nose to nails on the toes.
Okay, so he makes a small model first and then he takes that small model and makes it into a big model, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Take it off, Antonio. Thank you. What's another one, Parker?
It is no less Waterhouse completed than building a house upon 4 columns.
Okay, so if we look back up at our question, that's going to be a what? Our question, look at the board.
Opinion?
That's an opinion, yeah. We don't want an opinion, we want a fact. Okay, so either one of the ones that Dylan or Brooke gave would work. So we said we were on page 402. Dylan, what was yours again?
With the help of his assistants, he had formed the life-size clay figures and created the molds from them.
Okay, so he's talking about life-size clay figures. Brooke's talking about a small model. Which one do you think came first, the life-size clay figure or the small model? The small model. So which one do you think we need to probably talk about first?
Small model.
The small model. Let's kind of keep it in order. So what was our small model? What did we say?
Waterhouse showed his guests small models he made, correct in every detail from scales on the nose to nails on the toes.
Okay, now where did we get that information from?
The passage.
Page
402.
402. So we're going to say our key star idea, our first key star idea, maybe he had a process of building dinosaurs by starting with a small model and then building what? A life-size model. So let's start there. Let's say on our key star idea, he starts with a small model, then builds a life-size model. Everybody should be writing this on top of their desk. Okay, and when we've got our key star idea. Now, when I say elaborate, elaborate's a fancy word for what? All it wants you to do is tell what? It wants you to tell about it. It wants you to tell more about it. It wants you to give some more information about it. So we just said we were on page what?
402.
402. So maybe on our first elaborate, we can say on page what?
402.
402.
Text evidence.
Oh, that's letting us know about our text evidence. That's good, Brooke. So that's telling us to go back. Our reader can go back and look where?
On page 402.
On page 402. So on page 402, we said, what did we say?
He would build the like the smaller size,
He would show his guests the small size models.
and then he would.
And
And
he
then
would
he would get-
Then he'll perfect them.
Okay, so he would make a scale model of the small model, right?
Yeah.
He would make the small one as detailed as the big ones, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so on page 402, I want somebody to come up with a sentence. I came up with the last one. I want you to come up with the next one. What could we say on page 402? What? Remember, we are supporting this fact that he starts with a model and then small model, and then he builds to a life-size model. So on page 402, Brooke.
He formed life-size clay figures and created the molds from them. Then he created iron skeletons, built brick foundations, and covered the whole thing with cement.
Okay?
Yes.
Remember, we're talking about the small models first.
Oh, we're
So
talking
keep
about
that in mind. We're talking about that small models
So,
first.
That's what I was gonna say.
He
Yeah.
formed the life-size clay model then. After he did the small models.
Okay, but we're talking about the small model here, and I want to tell more about that small model.
There was monumental task of building them.
Of a small model?
Designistry on the first.
Camden, what's up?
He made it out of clay.
He made the small models. Dylan, what else?
He would use the small models to get like a good picture for the bigger models.
Yeah, that's perfect. So on page 402, Waterhouse, because that's who we're talking about, right? Waterhouse would use a detailed small model to build bigger model, correct? That's what it said on page 402. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
If I went to page 402, it's going to tell me about how he built a pretty detailed small model to help him build a big model.
Yes, because that's what he showed the guests.
Yeah, that's what he showed the guests. He showed him a small detailed model. Now, we're not just talking about like a stick figure. He didn't just have a little stick figure dinosaur down here drawn on a piece of paper like that. That's not what we're talking about. Is that very detailed?
No.
Can you tell it all that's a dinosaur?
No.
So also because I'm not an artist, but
You have to tell us it's a dinosaur.
okay, so that's not what it's talking about when it says that he showed them a small model. Yeah, it's small. It could have been a dinosaur,
Like
but
it's compared to the bigger model.
yeah. Now think about it. If you were building something and you were about to spend a lot of time and a lot of money on it, don't you think you would want to start by building something smaller first?
Yes.
That way you could perfect it and know what you would have to work on for the big one?
Yes.
It would make more sense to do that, because if you don't do that, if you just like started on building this life-size dinosaur, what if you ran into like messing up or forgetting about something? Oh, I forgot about these nails on their feet, and then you have to turn around and start all over. Do you think it'd be easier to start all over on a small thing or on a gigantic thing that's life-size? Something small. That way you don't really have much to go back and fix. Yes, it's detailed, but again, it's a smaller thing that you're having to fix. Okay, so our next key star idea, we've got our first key star idea, we've got our first elaborate. Now, we said he moves from a small model to a big model. So now what do you think we should talk about in that next key star idea?
The big model.
The big model. That sounds good to me. Huh? What?
He said, why don't we talk about the drawing?
The what?
The drawing. that
The
came
drawings.
first.
Okay. What does it say, Braden?
But he had to draw before he
Braden,
did
Braden,
the clay.
Braden. Remember, it's got to be a fact. So tell me what you're talking about.
He designed it first on the drawing so he could copy it to get the small clay model.
Oh, why didn't you say that to start with? Oh, now we've moved on from the small model. Now we're on to the big model. What happened after we did our small model? He created the big one, but I want you to look on pages 402 and 403 and find another fact. Again, a fact is something you can prove true or false. I would love to hear from anybody other than Brooke and Dylan. They're doing great, and I'm so glad that they're here today, but I want to hear from other people in here. Landon?
After he made the small model out of clay, he looked at that small model and made a bigger model out of
Okay, so he used the small model to help him build the big model. What else? Parker?
He used bricks, tiles, and broken stones that were all held together with cement. and covered with cast and painted.
Now, what does it mean when it says cast? They had like a bunch of broken arms?
No.
No. What is a cast?
It's like
What does it say when it says cast? What is that?
a insulation.
Okay, Braden?
A type of mold.
Okay, a type of mold. What do you mean when you say type of mold? Because when you say mold, I think of like moldy cheese. Is that right?
What I mean by mold, I mean by like a hard thing to keep the thing together.
Okay, but it like forms a what?
A
You-
shell. or something.
Yeah, it forms a shell or a shape. Okay, so let's say he had this like piece of rubber or like plastic or metal or something, and it had like the shape of a dinosaur foot in it, right? Everybody following along with me? And then he takes this liquid, something really hot that's gonna melt, and then it's gonna like harden really hard, and he pours it into that mold like he was just talking about. And then when you take it out, what he just took out is gonna look like what? What did I just say was molding? A dinosaur's what? Foot. Okay, so that hollow form that he just had, that he poured that liquid into, that's what it's talking about when it says cast. Okay?
Is the hot liquid not going to melt the plastic? I
No.
thought that's what you were going to say.
Okay, so again, that hollow form, that's another word for cast. Now, I'm not talking about a cast on a broken arm. Does that make sense?
No.
No, that doesn't make sense.
What, to put on a dinosaur?
Oh yeah, I had that.
Okay,
I thought you were talking about like the cast that you put on your arm, but
And then it was going to trick you because it said...
no, I want you to listen. So listen, if I wanted to make a fossil, how do you, usually when you see fossils, it's because
It's an old dinosaur.
It's because at one point, that was a dinosaur's foot, right?
and it created
And what happened?
It broke.
It created an imprint, right? Like it made like the shape of it inside of what?
the ground.
The ground or a rock, right? Okay. And then when you take that rock out, you have just what's left. Or if you took this dinosaur foot out, we could say that this on this rock is now what?
A fossil.
A fossil. It's a mold or a cast. This is what I'm talking about. I am not saying that they broke their arm. I'm not saying they broke their leg. I didn't say they broke their toe and then now have to have a cast on it and they have to be on crutches for a while. Did I? That's two different things. So hopefully if you're listening, you'll maybe get that question right on your test on Friday. Okay? So a cast that it's talking about there, it's not talking about a cast where it broke its arm and it got hurt. It's talking about a cast, it's like a mold, like what Braden was talking about. It's taking the shape of something. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
A little more sense. It's kind of like a fossil, like what we just said. Okay? Now, we need to move back to our key star idea. We need something to talk about in that key star idea.
The life-size dinosaur.
We need a fact. So we're talking about the life-size dinosaurs. He used what? He used a bunch of what?
People.
Paper?
He said his assistants.
Okay, not really what I'm looking for.
Clay.
He used clay. What else?
Bricks, tiles, and broken stone.
So you think it sounds like he just used stuff that he had what? Left over or laying around. So in that key star idea, that second key star idea, we could maybe say something about
What he used?
what he used. Waterhouse used what? Leftover
Mold.
materials to help build what?
The life-size dinosaur.
Sounds good to me. Waterhouse used leftover materials to build life-size models. That key star idea, can I prove that true or false?
Yes.
So is it a fact?
Yes.
Is that key star idea telling me how great and how wonderful Waterhouse is?
No.
No. So is it an opinion?
No.
It's not.
It's not.
If it's something that you can prove, true or false, it's going to be a fact. So Waterhouse used leftover materials to build life-size model. And just like we just did on the last elaborate, how did we start that last elaborate?
On page.
On page. So we're using text
Evidence.
So maybe on this elaborate, we can say,
On page 402 and 403.
okay, so we can say on pages 402 and 403. Sounds good to me. I'm going to go ahead and write that. And then I'm going to put a comma after it. On pages 402 and 403. We were just talking about leftover materials, right?
Mm-hmm. We can talk about the use material.
Give me a minute. I love that you're answering, but I want to hear from everybody. So on pages 402 and 403, what does it say about the leftover materials? I love that these same three people are answering. Man, they are going to do so well on their test on Friday, but what about everybody else? Look on pages 402 and 403. What did it say that he used on those life-size models? Camden?
Using like iron, like the support the iron skeleton.
Okay. What else, Landon?
He used bricks.
He used bricks. What else? He used, Madeline?
He used broken stones.
He used broken stones. So he used bricks. He used broken stones. What's another one? Jamarian?
No.
He used tiles. So let's talk about it. On pages 402 and 403, Waterhouse used bricks, tiles, and broken stones. Right? To form what?
The dinosaur was like the inside part.
Okay, so we could say like the iron skeletons, like Camden said, right? The iron skeletons and the life-size what? Models.
Clay.
To make, we've got 3. I think we're good so far. Waterhouse used bricks, tiles, and broken stones to make the iron skeletons and life-size models. Now, we've got one more thing that we have not filled in yet. What's that last thing?
Conclusion.
The conclusion. And usually your conclusion and what are pretty similar?
Topic sentence.
Your topic sentence. So based off of what our topic sentence is up here at the top, I want you to start thinking about a conclusion that we can put down there for number 6. Thinking about a conclusion. And remember, our conclusion usually does what?
Tell us.
It wraps it up. It tells us, it sums it all up. It wraps it up. It tells us that our paragraph's coming to an end. Antonio?
You got some facts from the story.
Bazinga. Sounds good to me. These are some facts from our story. What else? Brooke?
These are some ways that we can prove the facts of Waterhouse method of building dinosaurs.
Okay, that's long, but you could use it. Reese?
That's some facts about Waterhouse's method to building dinosaurs.
Sounds good to me. I'm going to put a few of them together. These are some facts about Waterhouse's, oopsies, method of what?
To build the dinosaur.
Method of building dinosaurs. We didn't answer the second question. I'm not really worried about it. We're going to talk about it though. The main thing we focused on was our facts. And remember, facts are something that you can prove what?
True.
True or false. Everybody got it? No? Put in your no? Okay. I'm going to give you just another minute. We're going to put it all together in just a second. So I hope you wrote down everything. Everybody got it? Okay, now let's put it all together. Okay, our topic sentence. What's our first sentence?
These are some facts about Waterhouse method building dinosaurs.
Okay, these are some facts about what?
Waterhouses method to
building dinosaurs. Key star idea 1.
He started with a small size.
He starts with
a small size model.
A small size model. Then builds a life-size model. Okay?
On page
402, Waterhouse would use a detailed small model to make a bigger model.
Okay, I want all of that, I want everybody to read it together. So let's try that one again. Because I'm trying to type it and I can't figure out what we're saying if I got some people over here on one part and some people over there on another part. Okay, so what's that elaboration?
On page 402, Waterhouse would use a small model to build a big model.
Waterhouse used a detailed small model to build
bigger
model. A bigger, we'll say that, life size model. Okay?
Waterhouse used leftover.
Hold on, where are we at?
The second key star idea.
The second key star idea. So everybody's looking at that second key star idea. Okay, now what?
Waterhouse used leftover material
to build life-size models.
Okay?
On page 402 through 403, Waterhouse used bricks, broken stones,
to make the iron skeletons of life-size models.
Bricks, tiles, and
broken stones to make
iron skeletons
and
life-size models. Okay, conclusion.
These are some facts about Waterhouse's method of building dinosaurs.
Okay, let's make it bigger so that we can read it all together. Okay, we're starting at the top. We're all reading together. Can everybody see?
Yes.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. These are some facts about Waterhouse's method to building dinosaurs. He starts with a small size model, then builds a life size model. On page 402, Waterhouse used a detailed small model to build a bigger life size model. Waterhouse used leftover materials to build life size models. On page 402 and 403, Waterhouse used bricks, tiles, and broken stones to make iron skeletons and life-size models. These are some facts about Waterhouse's method to building dinosaurs. Did we answer the question?
Yes.
Did we provide facts?
Yes.
Did we provide text evidence to
Yes.
support our facts?
Yes.
Did we have 6 sentences?
Yes.
Do we have punctuations at the end of every sentence?
Yes.
Capital letters at the beginning of every sentence?
Yes.
Did we answer our question?
Yes.
Hey, y'all wrote a 6-sentence paragraph. How do you feel? Tired? Can't imagine. Can't imagine. Okay, we're taking this, and in just a second, I'm going to get you a marker or an eraser, and you're going to go ahead and try and erase it with your eraser first, and then I'm going to give you a Clorox wipe